When a tiny lynx cub was on the brink of death, a woman made the brave decision to save it. But soon, something incredible happened that amazed everyone. Stay until the end to find out what happened next. Meet Rachel, an extraordinary lynx, a true embodiment of grace, strength, and devotion. Her life could have taken a tragic turn if not for the kindness of one person who stepped in at the right moment. Rachel was born on a fur farm where animals were raised solely for their pelts. She came into the world alongside her siblings, but her childhood was anything but happy. Harsh living conditions, cold cages, and constant fear defined the beginning of her life. But one day, fate granted her a chance for salvation. Rescuing Rachel was not an easy task. The owners of the farm were reluctant to part with their animals, as each lynx was a valuable asset to them. However, one person was determined to do everything in their power to save this helpless little predator. A woman, after hearing about the cub's desperate situation, made a bold decision to intervene. She put in tremendous effort to obtain permission to rescue Rachel, and after much persistence, she finally succeeded in taking her away from the farm. From that day forward, Rachel's life changed completely. She was brought to a spacious countryside home in a beautiful area, not far from a dense forest. Here, Rachel had everything she needed to live comfortably: ample space, fresh air, proper care, and most importantly, love. However, for her rescuer, this was only the beginning of a long journey. She had to learn a great deal, as she had never taken care of a wild animal before. The first few weeks were a real challenge. Little Rachel was extremely fragile. She had to be fed every 2 hours, kept warm, and protected, much like a newborn kitten. The woman patiently looked after her, warming her milk, feeding her from a bottle, monitoring her health, and ensuring she had the most comfortable conditions possible. Although Rachel was growing up in a home, her wild nature was evident from the very beginning. Her movements became more confident each day. She began to pounce on her toys as if she were hunting, and she explored her surroundings with natural caution. As months passed, Rachel grew at an astonishing pace. The tiny, fluffy creature transformed into a powerful predator, full of strength and agility. Yet, despite her growing size and wild instincts, she remained incredibly attached to her rescuer. She followed her everywhere, spent all her time by her side, climbed onto her bed, and curled up beside her, and even attempted to purr, though lynxes do not have the same ability as domestic cats. When Rachel reached adulthood, she became a truly magnificent animal. Her muscular body, powerful paws, and piercing golden eyes inspired admiration. She still lived in the house, though she could no longer fit on her caretaker's lap as she once had. Yet, in her heart, she remained the same playful kitten who had once been cradled in warm, loving hands. Rachel's diet now consisted entirely of meat, and her food requirements had increased significantly. Every day, she needed nearly 2 kilograms of fresh meat to maintain her strength and energy. Despite her impressive size and wild nature, she still behaved much like a house cat. She loved hiding in unexpected places, squeezing into cardboard boxes, and playing with random objects she found on the floor. Rachel had become a true domestic predator, yet she never lost her deep emotional bond with humans. She didn't just get used to her rescuer, she loved her with all her heart. In her amber eyes, there was a clear expression of gratitude for her rescue, for the care she received, and for the chance to live in warmth and safety. She followed her caretaker from room to room, lay beside her whenever she sat down, and even tried to help with everyday tasks, watching curiously as she moved around the house. However, despite all the love and care she received, returning Rachel to the wild was now impossible. She had spent too much time among humans, had lost her ability to hunt, and no longer feared people. In the wild, she would not be able to survive, as she lacked the necessary instincts to find food and protect herself from danger. But even if the opportunity arose, her rescuer could never bring herself to let her go. Because Rachel was no longer just a pet. She had become a true member of the family. Rachel's story is a remarkable example of how compassion, love, and dedication can save even a wild animal. She didn't just find a home, she found someone who became her entire world. Now, she lives a happy, fulfilling life, surrounded by warmth and affection. She may never know what her fate would have been if she hadn't been saved, but in her deep, golden eyes, one thing is clear: boundless gratitude for this second chance. Every day for Rachel is now filled with peace and comforting routines. She loves greeting her rescuer at the door whenever she returns home, gently nudging her with her head as a sign of affection. In the mornings, Rachel wakes up first and patiently waits for her caretaker to open her eyes, curled up somewhere nearby. Sometimes she even sneaks into her bed and quietly nestles beside her, as if trying to preserve the warm bond that has connected them since her earliest days. Rachel remains a hunter at heart. Though she no longer needs to stalk real prey, her instincts are still strong. She spends hours watching birds through the window, tracking moving shadows, and setting up playful ambushes on random objects, as if sharpening skills that would have been vital for survival in the wild. Her caretaker often hides treats around the house to keep her natural senses sharp, and Rachel eagerly embarks on a search, checking every corner and crevice. But the most remarkable thing about her is the way she interacts with her rescuer. She never shows aggression, never harms her, not even by accident. It's as if she understands that this person is her savior, her family, her whole world. In her caretaker's hands, she is completely at ease, allowing herself to be stroked and petted, something she would never tolerate from a stranger. Sometimes, in the evenings, Rachel steps onto the porch and gazes toward the forest. In her eyes there is a quiet, indescribable longing, perhaps for something distant and unknown, something that still lingers in her blood, but no longer belongs to her reality. Maybe she feels the call of the wild, but every time her rescuer steps outside and gently strokes her head, Rachel curls up next to her, peaceful once again, because her home is here, with the one who saved her. Rachel, the lynx who found her family among humans, the lynx who could have remained in a cold cage but instead discovered warmth and love. The lynx who may still carry a part of the wild within her, but chose comfort and companionship.